Okay, so sharpening knives, we have a block. You can get this at any kitchen supply store. And obviously we have a knife. So what we're going to do is real easy sharpening. You want to make sure your knife is at roughly a 20-degree angle. It can be anywhere from 15 to 30 degrees. Way to figure this out is put your knife on the block like this. This is a 90-degree angle. If we estimate about halfway down, that's 45, and then half again is about 20 or so. Doesn't have to be precise. I think a lot of people think that it needs to be precise, and it really doesn't. What we want to do is make sure we get the entire edge of the blade in sharpening. This stone has been wetted with water. Some people do it with oil. Personally, I like water because it doesn't gum up my block. And what we're going to do, this is the way I do it. Again, everybody seems to have their own way. We're going to start at the far end of the block. I like to hold down with my finger the tip so that I'm sure that the tip hits the block. And we're going to just make one sweeping motion across the block. Almost like you're slicing a section of the block off. And you can do this as much as you want on each side. The more you do it, obviously, the sharper your knife is going to be. And to switch directions, we just turn the knife over, get the block comfortably set, and do the same thing. Since I'm not left-handed, this is a little more awkward, but you can find a motion that works for you. Hold that tip down and make sure the entire length of the knife gets sharpened by the block. You repeat this about 50 times on each side. It can actually be sort of a meditation almost, a quiet, repetitive motion that really helps you get a nice edge on that knife. You're going to want to wipe your knife. I'll just do this with my fingers for the moment. But essentially what you're doing is you're grinding some of the metal off of the side. So in time, if you have a knife that's very old, it's going to get thinner and thinner with age. And that's a good thing. To steel the knife, the purpose of the steel is to remove any metal fragments that you've just ground off your knife. And I think that we see a lot of times on TV people sort of maniacally going back and forth across the steel. The purpose of the steel is to remove those metal burrs that come off and also to finely hone the edge, to straighten it out so that it cuts more precisely. When you're steeling, what you want to do is make sure you get the edge and you draw the entire edge across the steel, and you do it on both sides. And you can count while you're doing it. You want to have the same number on both sides. So this is pulling off metal fragments, straightening the blade, and making your knife even more useful.